Hi, hello, here Andres Van Koik speaking. How are you? Now we are going to speak a little bit about Uruguay. This is no dream, it is real. Come, visit and stay Uruguay. You won't regret it. Uruguay is a great country. Now we're going to speak a little bit about Europe. Do you feel like you might have to emigrate from Europe? There are many challenges in Europe at the moment, you know. There are really security problems in many countries like Sweden, Holland, Belgium, Germany, France. You know, it's very sad what is happening, and I think this is going to increase. Here there is a list of unsafe countries in Europe. You see that Sweden is in first place, then Belgium, Denmark, United Kingdom, Holland, Germany, Luxembourg. Very sad what is happening with this out of control of immigration. You know, it's getting very, very problematic for many of these countries. You may know about that, you know, but I think suddenly that this will increase, the problems will increase. Also, the economy is not doing well in Europe. You know, Germany is starting a depression, you know, a recession, and I think other countries will follow. You know, many problems in the economic area. There are also possibilities of war. There is already a war, you know that, about Russia and Ukraine, and there is also a war between Israel and Hamas. But this can expand, you know, and this can be really very sad. There can be a much bigger war, you know, in Europe. That's very sad. Hopefully it's not going to happen, you know, but I think we have to be prepared. There are other reasons you may want to leave Europe, you know. The controls that it's expanding in everywhere, and maybe the vaccines also, you know. There are other reasons that you may consider also. Now we're going to speak about Uruguay. Why is Uruguay a good option to immigrate? Uruguay is a small and distant country, you know, but big and close is not always the best option. On the contrary, I think at this stage where the world is going, you know, to be as far away from the problems, you know, and being a small country, probably a not important country in the geopolitics of the world, you know, it's a very good reason to think about Uruguay, you know. The climate in Uruguay is quite good, you know. It's very nice in the summer, very sunny. We have many months of sun, and of course the winter can be cold, you know, 3, 4, 5 months of cold weather, you know. But at you know, in average, I would say the climate in Uruguay is quite good and probably much better than Europe. Very important, Uruguay, it has a free money exchange market without control. This is not minor, you know, because in many countries like Germany, they are starting now to implement restrictions to get the money out of the country. And that's not good at all. Also very important, you know, Uruguay produces food for about 30 million people, you know. 30 million people, and we are only 3.5 million. That means that there will be never a promise of food in Uruguay. And with the situation everywhere in the world, I think this is a major issue. Uruguay has wonderful sea coast, you know, very kilometers and kilometers of sand and beaches, very nice to stay, to visit, to live, you know. This is also very important, because there are other countries like Paraguay, and I have many clients that are moving from Paraguay to Uruguay, mainly because of the sea coast, you know, which is lovely and very nice. Uruguay is excellent for producing everything, you know. If you're thinking in coming to Uruguay and produce meat, cow, agriculture, seafood, anything that you would think, you can make it in Uruguay. That's for sure. Without a doubt, Uruguay is vanguard in quality of life, I would say, not only for Latin America, but also compared to many other places in the world. Uruguay stands very high in quality of life. Uruguay, it has a small population, 3.5 million, compared, for example, to Germany, which is 83 million. Almost half, a little bit less of half of the population of Uruguay lives in the capital, Montevideo, with 1.4 millions. For example, in Punta del Este, which is very well known, the permanent population is about 12,400. It's increasing because there is a lot of people which are thinking moving to Uruguay and moving to Punta del Este. Therefore, the trend is going up, but still the permanent population is quite low. On the other hand, in the high season, you would expect about 500,000 tourists coming to Punta del Este. Poverty in Uruguay falls year after year, it's going down, and it's very good for Uruguay. It's about 10%, and just compared with Argentina, which is a mess. Argentina's totally broken, and the poverty is reaching 45%. You can see here the evolution of poverty in Uruguay going down every year. It has increased a little bit through the pandemic and coronavirus, but the trend again is going down, and the poverty will be lower than that. Also very important to consider, religion. 99% of the religions are Christian, Catholic, Protestants, other, only 1% is about Buddhists, Muslims, and others, but 99% of the people here, their religion is Christians. Now we're going to speak about Uruguay being number 1 in Latin America. Very important, Civil liberties, number 1, according to Freedom House. Number 1 in Latin America, low perception of corruption. There's almost no corruption in Uruguay. This is according to Transparency International, a well-known organization. Social mobility, that means poor people going to medium class going to high class. The social mobility is also very good, and it's the first in Latin America, according to the World Economic Forum. Again, number 1 in Latin America, Development Index in Electronic Government, according to United Nations. Internet penetration, fixed broadband. We have everywhere internet, fiber optics everywhere, according to International Communication Union. Again, number 1 in Latin America, ICT adoption, information communication technology, according again to the World Economic Forum. Very, very, very important, Democracy Index. It's a very democratic country. The number 1 in Latin America, according to Economist Intelligence Unit. Number 1 again in rule of law, according to World Justice Project. Number 1 in Latin America was best place to telework, according to Global Remote Work Index. As we have very good internet and we have fiber optics, you could be living in a farm, and you could be doing freelance work within your house, and reaching every country in every world, Telework is working very, very good in Uruguay. Per capita software exporter, number 1 in America, in Latin America, according to Uruguay 21. And number two, in Latin America, clean energies, according to Global Remote Work Index. Why do we need an immigration advisor? Very important. There are many procedures and many interviews, many of them. You need someone with knowledge and experience in the immigration process. If you don't speak very, very well Spanish, you won't be able to attend to the interviews, immigration, because it will ask you to come with a translator, with a translator. Therefore, you need a translator. The procedures and the requirements may change, and you must always be very well informed. There is a lot of delay in scheduling interviews, and you must plan it very well in advance. The procedures and interviews are in different places, which is very important to know. Sometimes it's in Montevideo, or in Punta del Este, or in Piriápolis, or in San Carlos. How to start, how to start. First, if you have questions about Uruguay, just contact me, and I will be very happy to answer all of your questions about Uruguay. Once you have decided to come to Uruguay, contact me to start planning the interviews, because that's very important. You should not wait until you're here, because then you won't get an interview so fast, It's very important to plan this in advance. You can start preparing certain documents such as birth certificates, marriage certificates, or criminal records, and there are other documents that you may start planning to collect. Once a commitment is made and paying half of my fees, my work begins. By the time you're arriving in Uruguay, all the meetings will already be booked, and I will accompany you to each of them. I will always be with you in all of the interviews. You'll have your Uruguayan ID or cedula in process much sooner than you imagine. For more details, contact me at my mail, andres.adonai@gmail.com, or to my WhatsApp number. I will be very happy to assist you. I hope you have a very nice day. I wish you all the best, the week, and all the best for you and your family. Uruguay, peace and safe. Come, visit, and stay. Bye-bye.